Hey, howdy, hey, how is everybody doing? And welcome back to Disney Daily. Gaston, arrogant, egotistical, and selfish. He is the truest form of a narcissist. He is the perfect villain in my opinion because he isn't blatantly evil, he disguises it. He is very similar to the Beast in a lot of aspects, but unfortunately earns the title of bad guy. However, to many he is loved and admired. They look to him for truth and for strength. In today's video, I thought I would explore why such an evil character could be so adored. Now, before we answer that question, I want to start off this video by giving some insight into the making of Gaston, because believe it or not, he actually didn't exist at one point. In the 1946 French version of Beauty and the Beast, Gaston was not included in the story. There was, however, a character named Avenant, who had similarities to him in terms of personality. Additionally, both characters were in love with Beauty and conspired to put an end to the Beast. However, when Disney sought to recreate this magical tale, they did not draw upon Avenant. Surprisingly, there are no notes indicating that Avenant was an inspiration whatsoever, but I think it goes without saying when comparing the two characters that Gaston was definitely modeled after him. When Disney creators first started on Beauty and the Beast in 1988, the original Gaston was actually 3 different people fighting for Belle's hand. It was in 1989, a year later, that the creators decided to condense it down to one powerful, show-stopping character. But originally, he was a French nobleman instead of a hunter. He was very formal, proper, and elegant. However, one of the creators pushed for a rewrite, which is how we got the Gaston that we know today. I think the change from nobleman to hunter allowed for a lot more humor, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, but now for the real question of the day. Why was he so liked by everyone in town? Unlike the Beast, who was condemned for his selfish ways, Gaston was constantly praised for it. I think there are a few good explanations. First, the townspeople adored and admired him because they looked up to him. He was seen as a protector in their eyes. He was the whole package, brains and brawn. This constant support for Gaston led him to believe he was perfect and could do nothing wrong. I mean, how could he believe otherwise? He was never criticized or questioned, so evidently this helped shape and mold his mind. Another reason I believe the villagers loved him was because he was simple and didn't question anything. You can clearly see that the villagers don't like their norm being challenged. They don't like people thinking outside the box or people thinking for themselves for that matter. That is clearly demonstrated in the opening scene when Belle walks through the town reading her book. People find her odd and frown upon her for being an active thinker and learner. Belle represents the outside of their comfort bubble while Gaston is the comfort bubble. They call her a puzzle because Belle's character had depth and is complex, whereas Gaston is the complete opposite. The townspeople go about their daily lives with zero interest in the outside world and what else life has to offer. This is what they truly find appealing in Gaston. He has no desire to look further or farther for something better because he believes he is it. The final reason why the villagers admire Gaston is simply because they depended on him. After all, it is a small town in the middle of nowhere, and the people depend on each other to survive. There were no grocery stores, it was just a farmer's market. One family would sell eggs while another family provides the bread. Each family plays a role in that town to keep it alive and thriving. Gaston's job was to hunt and to provide for the town with various meats, which is illustrated in the tavern scene when they sing the number Gaston. As Gaston sits in the chair, we see a trophy wall full of animals that he has hunted. Maybe to this little town, Gaston was all they had in terms of providing reliable and consistent food. Now, I should add, I don't think Gaston was providing out of the goodness of his own heart. He knew that hunting would keep people interested in him and waiting on him hand and foot. Now, just to add another layer, in the live action, Gaston is not just a hunter, but is also a former army captain. But I think we can all agree his hunting and the new information we know about him being some sort of war hero only helped to boost public opinion about him. We see that everything comes easy to Gaston and everyone is obsessed over him, and there was nothing he had to work for, except Belle. Belle saw him for the narcissist he was and wasn't convinced he was truly a good guy. Now, one last piece of information I want to share about Gaston's past comes from the book The Beast Within, A Tale of Beauty's Prince by Serena Valentino. In the book, she reveals that Gaston was once friends with the Beast, who was a prince at the time. They would hunt together, eat at the tavern, and both were chased by the ladies. In the later chapters, we find out that Gaston indirectly caused the curse to happen to the Beast. As the story goes, the Beast had been engaged engaged prior to Belle to a woman named Circe. Gaston would reveal to the Beast that Circe was merely a farmer girl, and he refused her. It would be that same night that she would return to test his heart, but in disguise, like we see in the beginning of the film. When he turns her away and rejects her again, this is when she puts a spell on him and all of those who reside in the castle. Additionally, she wipes out part of Gaston's and the Beast's memory, so they forget they were even friends with one another. Well, that concludes this video of Disney Daily. My question to you all is, who is your favorite Disney sidekick? As always, thanks for being my guest here at Disney Daily. Until next time.